On this podcast, we talk about the books, both old and new, that are worth putting on your to-be-read list. I'll include the back cover synopsis, content warnings, as well as my pro and con list. To avoid any spoilers, head over to my Instagram at enjoylifewithme.angela. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these books. Let's jump in for the day. Today we're going to be talking about "'Tis Wedding Season" by Millie Shepherd, which is a standalone country rom-com. It is a contemporary, and I did talk about this one last month when it was released, but Emily was so kind to be the author that I did my first interview with that I thought I would redo her book that was the first one of hers that I read. So, starting with the back cover synopsis. He's scared of turning into his cheating dad. She had her heart shattered and hasn't glued all the pieces back together yet. They agreed to just be friends, but how long will that last with the sparks flaming higher? Trace. I needed a job and a way out of town, so when Ryder told me about the opening at the Bryford Barn, I jumped on it. He mentioned his boss's daughter, but excluded one not-so-minor detail. She's a stunner. Not only do her tan legs go for miles, and her snarky yet sweet personality makes my heart do things I don't want it to, we're working together, like day in, day out. I'm not interested in any relationship, let alone one with her, yet when Ryder and his girlfriend sucker me into a blind date, I'm terrified my new friendship with Shaylee may be destroyed. But what I can't understand is why staying just friends with Shay is turning out to be so hard. Shaylee. Wedding season. It runs my life. Well, technically the Bryford Barn, my family's wedding venue, but unfortunately we needed to hire a new hand since I can't handle all my duties by myself anymore thanks to our chock-full wedding schedule. I knew the new person was a man, but the last thing I expected was a handsome guy who's my age. My heart is still sore from getting rejected by a jerk, and I don't want to risk hurting it again. But when Trace and I get closer, I don't know what to think. I mean, how can a girl handle a dimple-flashing, hat-wearing gentleman with a heart of gold, who understands her sense of sarcasm without slowly falling big time? So, like I said, this is a contemporary country romance. The intimacy was probably like a moderate, because there was kissing and flirting. And the only time there was language was when Shay says that hell will freeze over. The violence was very mild. There was one slap. And as far as potential triggers, the author actually included one, which was really cool. And she said that there was parental infidelity and neglect, rocky father-son relationship. So, I think all authors should include content warnings at the beginning. It was great. But the one con is that because she included it, the app I was using actually changed the sections and the chapters, so the numbering was off. So it was like section 2, chapter 1, which was a little weird, but not a big deal, obviously. Now, on the pro side, you got a lot of swoon without any of the spice. Obviously, I only read Closed Door, but this was a really, really cute country romance, which is very different than what I typically read. I don't get a lot of country, but the country music in this one, I think she referenced like 40 songs. So my country playlist increased exponentially with this read, and that was really fun. And the characters were just really lovable. Like she mentioned, like Heart of Gold, main male character, so sweet. And he had a lot of great parts. My favorite part was mopping the floor scene, which I did talk to the author about in our interview, which will air on Thursday. That was such a great scene. That's one that's just going to live in your head for forever when you read it. But there's also this analogy of the whack-a-mole that made me giggle out loud just picturing it, because I think it was just really accurate. It said, "No matter how hard I shove down my attraction for him, it keeps popping back up. I feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole. As soon as I get it underhand, he does something else that makes another mole appear." Which, I mean, we've all had that experience with a guy where it's just like, I don't like him. But then they do something else that's really cute and it like pops back up. Anyways, it was a really cute analogy. Very accurate, I felt like. There's a ton of adorable moments where you got all of the swoony feels, and obviously we appreciated that it was all closed door, because that's how we like ours, swoony without the spice. So I will be back Thursday with my interview with Emily. You do not want to miss this book, so I will talk to y'all on Thursday.